back with Soul to Soul podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Kaylie, and this is my mom, Carol. We are Chicagoland mediums who do mediumship readings and events around the area and just help people connect with their loved ones on the other side. For those of you who have been listening for a little bit, you can see our setup, our space is a little different, a little new. We wanted to add in some color into this space. It was a little too uniform, a little too blah. And so we got some new color, some new decorations, some new chairs to be a little bit more comfier, more homey feeling. I always like to get comfy when we start talking about whatever topic we end up talking about. But before we get into today's topic, we're really just going to see how it flows, because once again, we don't really know. We have an idea, but we're going to see what just comes of it. And I feel like those always kind of seem to happen the best way, which is interesting because I am someone who
likes to be prepared for everything.
I need to have everything figured out, understand, prepared. But
it's funny because I'm the total opposite. Yeah. I'm fly by the seat of my pants, but in this setting, I'm like, do we have a topic? We need a whiteboard on the wall. We need to know what we're... So it's weird how it's reversed like that.
Yeah. But I feel like it's because I've just seen it. Like each time it just continues to flow. Mm-hmm. But anyways, before we get started, we do want to share... We do have an event coming up on October 25th at Natural Healing Centers. It is just another one of our live mediumship reading events. Natural Healing Centers holds a space about 20 or so people. So if you guys are interested, just check out my website, kayliemarie.net. You can sign up for the event on there or just check out our social medias. If you're in the Orland, Tinley, New Lenox, that type of area, definitely come and get the opportunity to hear from your loved ones on the other side. But today it is October 12th. Mm-hmm. So I thought it would be fun to have a little like Halloween episode, whatever that means, and just talk about the energies coming up this time of year, what to expect, and different belief systems surrounding the energies this time of year. We did just do a Facebook Live a few weeks or earlier in the week with Natural Healing Centers. They're an amazing shop. That's where we both work out of. So if you guys get the chance, definitely check them out as well. There's so many other practitioners there as well who offer other services that are just amazing. And it really is a great center for healing. But we just did a Facebook Live with them talking about similar topics, the energies coming up. But I really wanted to get deep into the belief systems that people have surrounding this time of year and what that means.
I was thinking, well, like, what has Halloween been for you? Like, do you like Halloween? Is that because when I reflect back on it, for me, I used to love dressing up like with the kids just because it gave an excuse that, I wasn't like a older, 20, 30-year-old woman with kids or just walking around dressed up. So I always thought it was so fun, and the kids always loved it when I dressed up. But it was always like, one time I was a crazy clown, but it was always like, I don't know, nice things, or you know what I mean? Like, as far as the dark side of Halloween, I never liked to be scary. Yeah, I never liked haunted houses. I never liked to be scared. But you used to go to haunted houses all the time. So
I think I was in one Halloween season. And I feel like I stopped dressing up pretty young, honestly. But I did go to haunted houses all the time, just with my friends.
But you liked the scary part of Halloween, would you say?
I guess I liked getting scared, but it's so weird because now I hate scary movies. They literally make me like sick to my stomach, or I want to cry. Like, I'm such a baby now with like Halloween or scary movies. But yeah, when I was younger, I would go to multiple haunted houses a summer. But I kind of want to talk about that dark energy
You want
a
to?
little bit. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said I don't want to.
Yeah. Well, but it's funny. We had a house party last night, and they were saying it's the one girl's favorite time of year. So, but you see that for a lot of people. A lot of people love this time of year. But if we want to talk about the more spiritual or energetic aspects of it, we can get into that because Carol and I were on a walk the other day, talking just about energy and protection and what it means to protect your energy. Before we get into that, I want to preface, I guess, by saying or talking about, that's why I said belief systems surrounding this time of year. Because to me, your belief systems are your reality. And it's crazy how much this has been coming up within the last couple months for everybody that I talk to. It's like the energies, the universe are really like making all of us aware of the belief systems that we have about ourselves, or about our lives, about the universe, about how energy works, and how that is being reflected on our reality, what we're viewing and what we're seeing. So I just wanted to start there and talk about belief systems, because whatever your belief is, like your belief is power, your belief is energy, and that's what your reality is going to be shaped of. Like that's what you're going to see, that's all you're going to notice. So when we talk about Halloween and energies and energy protection, I know there are a lot of people who believe that you have to protect your energy and you have to white light yourself or use crystals to protect your energy against darker energies or against other people's energies. And I'm not saying I don't believe in that, because
You kind of were yesterday. So yesterday on our walk, I was just simply saying that I was telling my son and daughter-in-law that when they wake up in the morning, they should put a bubble of white light around their baby and just, call in Jesus and just white light him. And just so, I don't know, like it's like a prayer around him. And then at night, I was saying my son can do it at night and white light him before he goes to sleep. So in our family, starting with my dad actually, a lot of us are dreamers, and the kids, my sister's kid and my sister, like they would have these night terrors. And so at an early age, her baby, he's 10 now, we were like, what do we do? Whatever. People say put like a little witch's broom in the corner, obviously calling Archangel Michael, all this stuff. And I understand what you were saying yesterday, because you were talking about like, well, you don't believe in that protection or whatever. But I was coming more from like a ritualistic place. I was telling her our thoughts are constantly going. We're constantly thinking or speaking out something in our head with our thoughts. And why not put a blessing over like the baby or all of us, like, because we used to do this, with my sister's kids. Suit yourself up energetically before you go out in the real world. So I was looking at it not scary protection, otherwise some bad negative energy is going to come in and get him, but more so just love. So, but you were like, stop talking. We're going to talk about this tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, but I don't come from, and you know this because I've shared everything. Like I've never been like, oh my God, I have to, do this or that certain thing, wear this crystal this way or whatever before I walk in there. But if I did do it, I think it would be okay, because again, it's my intention. And my intention of, I just want to feel, it's like, you're taking a shower. I use salt, Epsom salt. And when I don't take a bath, I just wipe it around my aura. And I just imagine like cleansing and clearing and anything that doesn't. So it's just ritualistic for me rather than protection. But go on. How do you feel about it?
No, because I do want to talk about like I said, belief systems and a lot of cultures or just a lot of people in general have just a lot of fear surrounding energies like that and protection. And it does stem from a fear based for a lot of people.
Yeah, it does.
And especially with this work. And I'm not saying that it's not real, because I think for them it is very real, because that's their belief system.
Well, if you could think it, it's real.
That's what I'm
so
saying.
If half the world's, yeah, absolutely. And belief, yeah.
But that's where I feel like I try to teach your, like, taking your power back with your belief systems and your perspectives and the things that you can control. And I feel like relative to this and energy, like, if you do believe that, that's okay. I think you should do the things that you think you need to do to protect your energy. But I also feel like if that belief isn't making you feel good, or serving you, or if it's making you feel stuck in fear or anxiety, and you're constantly worried about, someone's going to get through this protection that I have up, or...
And I actually know a couple people like that. So,
well, that's
like,
what I'm saying.
even healers or people I've been to classes with, and they're still in that sort of fear. And I would always go back, because we went to the same classes, and I would think, like, where did she pick that up? Like, but then getting to know her and stuff, then I could see, like, where the belief systems came from. And it really wasn't from spirituality or learning about protection. It came from her family line of fear, paranoia, all the stuff that's already there. So, like, then she learned a little bit about spirituality and energy work, and then it just kind of enhanced fears and stuff that she already had.
Well, that's what I mean. And people have real experiences of, I think, I forgot what it's like, sleep paralysis or like...
That's my nephew. Well, Sean, my son, had that a few times, sleep paralysis. He said it was, scary.
Well, that's what I mean. And I feel like, number one, those experiences are very real. Like, that's what you're experiencing. But the way I see it, like, if we talk about sleep paralysis, then I see it more as not this demon, scary, dark energy trying to attack you.
Yeah, me either.
I see it more as, like, an anxiety or a stress.
I was just going to say, within like your own physical body. Yeah. And, like, if you think about it, I have a lot of nerve things that happen, and I would say stuff like, oh, my nerves are shot. But that is something I heard literally all my life by my mother. My nerves are shot. I'm going to have another nervous breakdown. And I get, like, the restless leg syndrome, but where I have to keep moving because sometimes they're so tight. And but I think of sleep paralysis being that, like, what was your week like? What was your day like? What's going on in your thoughts all day long or all week long or month long? And your body just kind of, like, does what it needs to do, coupled with, because usually you wake up in fear, but there's probably fear that's been lingering within your body for whatever, like I said, went on in your week or whatever. But yes, and then that goes to even, like, the night terrors could be very similar. People who worry a lot or who have a lot of anxiety over whatever it is, being a perfectionist, where, it's not, sometimes it's like simple things how we are, but it's just like so normal to us. And then, like I said, if you look back, a lot of it is in the family lines. Like my dad would have them, and but yeah.
No, yeah.
But I agree.
Well, that's what I mean. And so I feel like if things like that are happening for you.
But someone could say, just one more thing, someone could say, oh, you're being taken over by a spirit or a demon. And I don't believe that.
See, but where, like, if you tell someone that and they do have that belief, or then it just fills them with more fear, I think the only way that's going to be able to get them out of it is to do some type of ritual with the intention for their mind, to help them be able to let that go, because that's the only thing because there's part of them that doesn't believe that they can let go of it themselves.
But that's what I was trying to tell you with my grandson and with I was saying like, oh, you guys should white light. And I was trying to tell you on our walk, it was to just we're thinking things anyway, getting like, it's almost like, learning to work out. Like you get a couple routines down and then you're doing pretty good. So this is like learning to suit up your energy, learning to recognize your energy, and oh, your baby has energy too. So that's what I was saying.
See, but in my head, I think if you're like experiencing something like that, or you're really anxious, or the baby's not sleeping, well, I guess it can't help with the baby, but like if you're really anxious or you're getting sleep paralysis all the time, but then my mind it just doesn't go to let me protect myself. I'm not saying that's wrong. My mind goes to what's going on inside.
It could still do that, but how I started talking about this was a prayer over him, love over him. Because we're constantly saying stuff and doing things unintentionally, automatically, why not get that's why I'm calling it ritualistic. Why not start reprogramming your mind as soon as you wake up? Like when I was taught in mediumship, we were taught as soon as your feet get out of bed and hit the floor, you say the white light prayer. And I taught all my kids the white light prayer. Well, at the time, you could take that very fearful. I actually know someone in class who it's like if she doesn't do it, I don't know what. Like, but for me, I was just doing it because I was just learning and, doing what I was kind of told. But now I see the value in it too, though. It is a go-to. So it's kind of like a mantra but it's like you're just suiting yourself up or your day up. So it's not fearful for me.
I think I can see that perspective for sure, the like rituals, because there's stuff that people do that just helps them calm their nerves or their anxiety. Like,
Do you have stuff?
Before, like, that's why I was going to say I can understand, because, like, before readings, like, I do whatever. Like, I'll shake the energy. I'll, like, let it go. But at the same time, I also literally tell myself in my head, Kaylie, you don't need to do this. Like, I know if I didn't do this, I'm still going to give, a really good reading, or the reading that I was supposed to give. I understand, and I literally tell myself it's just for my mind.
And that's a good point, because as far as readings, same thing. I used to have to meditate. I used to have to do a few things first. And then something happened where I was running late. And then I had to just show up, and it worked. I'm like,
that's
worked.
What I mean.
It worked. But then that would happen. So then I started playing with it. So that's all. I started playing with it. I was like, okay, sometimes I will. Then I got lazy with it and stopped doing it all together. But then I'm coming back around to the purpose of rituals, or the purpose of intention, because it's really all slowing yourself down, honoring the space, your work, so there's a lot that goes in an intention. If I'm putting a bubble around the baby, it's because I love him so much and I just want so much love to come into his, you know what I mean? So intention.
But that is a completely different perspective than what a lot of people have, and I think that's why I wanted to talk about this.
But I was just talking about me and you on the walk yesterday, and you're like, no, it's fair, no. And I was, you're like, we'll talk tomorrow.
No, because
so just tell me I'm right, or that you understand what I'm saying.
No, because I really do
just kidding.
But that's why I knew I wanted to talk about this today, because of that exact reason. And I think what I've been learning, I don't know if I talked about this already, but I feel like I just realized one of my biggest, like, goals or intentions with my life and with the work that I do with people, like what I really want to do for people, is remind them of their power.
Me too. That is something that from the beginning never shifted for me.
Yeah, it's like sure. All the solar plexus energy, strengthening your power, seeing your power in your life, in the choices you have. And that's why I wanted to talk about this with energy, because I feel like sometimes in this work and spirituality or energetically, a lot of people feel so powerless with it, or they don't know what they can do, or they think there's a certain set of rules that they have to do this, and then they have to do this, and then they have to do this. And I feel like that's what I don't resonate
And that's
with.
why, and I've had many teachers in my 14-year journey, many. And that's what I did not like about teachers. At one point, I think I might have shared this. I didn't even want to call myself a medium. And it wasn't because of that, but it was because of like the responsibility. And so I had to, and I love all my teachers regardless. I still do. But what I noticed is like they didn't, some of them, a lot of them did not do that. And I know they were teaching certain things, and it's good because I actually learned a lot, and then I played with it. Oops, sorry, myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I weeded out some stuff, took what resonated, just like I tell everyone else. But looking back, and they don't emphasize on that. They're like, this is the way.
Yeah.
And I don't, to me, the way is your way. And it's always been like that for me. As long as I started getting into understanding energy in this, like, the way is your way. And I can't show you your way. You can't show me my way, but I can help you see yourself as you're navigating your way. Like it's just, but I have seen that it's like, I had have certain teachers who, if you do this, you are doing wrong. Like literally, like that is not okay. Like there's like rules around it, and I'm someone who wants to break every rule anyway.
But that's why when stuff like that comes up, like maybe it's just because I don't like being told what to do.
Well, when you just said that about the power, I was going to actually say that nobody likes being told what. If you really think about it. Nobody likes being told what to do.
But some people have a fear that they don't want to make the wrong choice or do the wrong thing, or they want to do what's right.
Someone knows more than them.
Yeah.
And then they leave their power in the teacher or the leader, and then they follow because they've never been shown that they discernment or that they have their own. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, exactly. And so that's why I feel like we're sitting here today, is really to just remind everybody of their own power in everything. And of course there's going to be times where you really love a teacher and you really love, what they're teaching, and that doesn't mean you shouldn't follow it. It's about being able to tune in to the parts that you don't resonate with, or the parts that aren't making you feel good, or the parts that are creating more anxiety in you than fear, or than like love.
And that I know firsthand because my teacher, my mediumship mama, who I love so much, and I still have a great love for her. And many others, but when I took it, when I continued on my own journey, I had to weed out, I would share this with you, weed out fear-based teaching, and that's what it was. And it was only this person who I loved, who I literally like taught me all this stuff, taught me that, I wasn't weird, like this is real life, like that kind of stuff. So I held her in great regard, but then certain things did not connect with me, and I was feeling guilty or bad, and I was like, but why is this happening then if it's bad? But then I knew internally, and that's only because I was meditating, so I knew that in that place where you said where you don't agree or you question is the best place, because that's when those are your answers. That's where you connect to yourself and you're authentically you. And any teacher, any colleague should support that, because that's what this life is about. It's like, you know what I mean? Like they should, so if they say, oh no, that's not the way, this is what happens, they should be like, wow, that's cool. Like, that's interesting. I would love to explore that more or whatever, but But yeah.
But that's why it goes back to the solar plexus energy, that honoring yourself, honoring your power, your own thoughts and your own feelings and beliefs. That's why it's so important, because you're right. This life, like, this is my life, but it's also your life, and you have your journey and your purpose, and I have my journey and my purpose, and everybody has their own. So what is it going to teach us if we're just following what the person ahead of us did? Like, that's why it's so important to tune back in, to discern, to, notice what doesn't resonate, what does resonate, because that's where other answers come. Because if you do that, maybe you'll be able to create this whole new perspective, this whole new belief that's going to be able to help, other people on their journey, and they're going to be able to resonate the same way. But that can never happen if you're not honoring yourself and what you bring to the table. And they say that, and I feel like that's a belief too I learned so strongly with mediumship, that I feel like I take in my day-to-day life now. I really do honor every single person and their what they bring to the table.
What I was gonna say is the same teacher taught me that discernment. Literally taught. I was like, what does that mean? But not only that, it took me a while to learn discernment. You don't just like, oh, that's discernment. Okay, it takes a while because it's you with you discernment. And so she taught me that, and she also taught me. I lost it. I forgot what I was gonna say, but I was sitting here thinking how just how important she was in my life because of my journey. So it's not her teachings weren't wrong or bad or whatever, because it helped me in this direction. Right. For me, I was sad and isolated and felt lost then, because but at the same time, I already caught myself, because I was going to say that, which I just said it now. But at the same time, something I go back and forth with now, a new belief system, is what if she supported me? Yeah. Where would I have been today? Yes, I took many years weeding out fear-based teachings, and that was my journey. So that's okay. I'm okay with that. But it doesn't have to be everyone's journey. What if they're supportive? What if, the teachings get a little more evolved, which they should, and we grow, and then the teachers, kind of shift a little. And so there's no right or wrong. Yeah. I'm grateful for the journey I've had. Yeah. I had to do it that way. But what if it was different? That could have been even better, maybe, or not. But
and that's why I was saying that belief that, like, I really do honor every single person, because how many people were in your class? 10, 20? So it's
20 at least.
So it's like one teacher, 20 people. Every single one of those 20 different people are taking something different from the same exact teaching.
Yes.
And that's why it's important. And they took what they needed to take for their journey, for what they needed to hear in that moment of your life. And so if we can start to see, looking back, it's always good to try to see the honor or the understanding and why everything needed to happen the way that it did for each person's journey. And it's all the solar plexus energy of honoring yourself and what you bring to the table. That's why it kind of starts as like a self-trust. I think we talked about this a while ago too. But it does, because if you don't trust yourself, how are you going to be able to honor your feelings or your intuition or your discernment? Like, you're not going to, like, if you feel this doesn't feel right to me, but then you think, oh, well, I'm always wrong, or I don't know better, or this teacher knows better, then you're not listening to yourself. You're not honoring yourself.
That's why I think she was such a beautiful teacher too, because she taught core things like that, like discernment, which are about ourselves and stuff like that. And I've seen people in the class, like I said, still to this day, that it still kind of use her words or whatever, and the way I look at everything is always changing and evolving, where to this day maybe she would be learning something, this is how it should be, from her students, at this time, because just like our parents, and I've shared with you guys, like, I was a different parent to all 5 of my kids, because we have different relationships. You're a different person. I'm different. Well, I'm raising you 5 years later, so everything is different. So when you hold your teacher's belief, I should say, she may not even believe that anymore. So, but you're holding it, and if it's a negative or fear-based belief, you are still holding that, and yeah, that's fine.
No, I agree exactly. Sorry, I don't know if you guys heard that. Our
The
dog
dog.
is crying outside the door.
He wants to come in.
That's our baby. But no, exactly. And I really do believe.
You might want to let him in. Just let him in. He's fine. Otherwise, he's relentless. Okay, lay down, Paolo. Lay down. He's fine. He'll lay down.
We'll see how this goes. No, but I don't even know what we were saying now. Just discernment, honoring yourself, and
just that
everything
how
that
teachers
comes up.
evolve and shift too. Like how, that's how it should go. So sometimes we're holding on to someone else's belief that they don't even believe it anymore. That was my point. Yeah. So taking it in, discernment, and uncovering how we feel about a situation, not how we were taught on a situation, especially when your situation is a little different from when you were taught. Mm-hmm. So when that happens, if you're taught to do something just like this and then something else happens, it's for you. Then you explore it, like, oh, that's not the way I was taught. That's not what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, and I feel like that's why I will always talk about first how important it is to go within and to have this self-awareness, because it's all connected. Like, I feel like you have to, there's so many core things that we can learn about ourselves, or there's so many core belief systems that we can have that are really going to change our whole reality in the way that we see this. Just like making sure you're honoring yourself and everybody, or making sure, like, discernment, you're taking what resonates and leaving what doesn't. All of those things really add up and help us to release, I feel like, a level of like fear and anxiety. Like, I feel like a lot of those heavier emotions, like fear and anxiety, stem a lot from just a lot of like belief systems and that we have, that we don't even realize that we have, connected to all of these things. And then so bringing it back to, Halloween and the darker energies and how we started this conversation, I think we made it pretty clear.
It's interesting. I was just thinking, because I'm thinking about a person in mind, and how I was telling you, like, it's in the family line.
Yeah.
Like belief systems of fear, just fear. So then you bring it to spirituality, or you learn a little, and I think it's a catalyst. It like opens up opportunity to heal that fear or perpetuate it into your spiritual practice. You know what I mean? Like, and so there's a lot of energy opportunities. So maybe that's why there is a lot of fear in spirituality.
But I feel like, too, that's not even to say that that person's doing it wrong. They're fearful, they're wrong. They need to change. That's not at all what we're saying, because we're still saying honor yourself and your journey. Maybe your journey really is taking that perspective and running with it and really figuring out, if you are someone with that belief system, how do you protect yourself? How do you take care of your energy? I was going to say,
because I also know more people who work with people who, I don't know, who feel like they have an attachment, or, that whole area. And that's okay, because they need that. That's what they need. They have that support in that area. They have the same experiences happen. We always would say, like, because everyone's like, would ask us questions. Do you ever get anything bad or negative? Or we're like, no. But that's just because our belief system, we won't go there. So and that's okay. Where some people are like, well, you need to be aware of this because it's out there. But I never said it wasn't out there. Yeah, that's true. I never said it wasn't out there. It's just not in here.
But I think
a funny thing I always say is, spirit knows I quit. Show me one scary thing, I'm out. So
no, for
that's
real.
A little cute thing.
That's what I was gonna say, though, is My problem with some of these belief systems is I don't like when it takes someone's power away. That's it. Because if, like, that's where it gets me. Like, I don't ever want somebody to feel like they are powerless in a situation, or like you need somebody else to release this energy from you, or you need this to happen to let go of this. Although, like you were saying, if it's coming from a space of love and intention to take care of yourself and to love yourself or to protect yourself in that way, I feel like it's different than saying you need to do this or you need me to release this energy from you.
It's very different than you need me to release it. Yes, I agree with you 100%. I do, because at the same time, I think we're here to help each other. So if I, quote, need Reiki, I just need, if I use those words, need, I want to come to you to have a healing session. It's because I'm in need of support while I'm in a healing session. But I could heal at home. I could, create a space and meditate and do everything at home. But I feel like sometimes
there's a level of support.
Yeah.
And just like you were saying earlier, like the teacher should be able to take things from their students. It's a level of support. And so as long as, you're not feeling like your power is being taken away, or you're not giving your power away to someone else, or in that way, or you need someone or something to happen, then I feel like it's okay. But if that's happening to you, then that's where I would say to kind of slow down and tune into that and see where you're giving your power away, or what belief systems you can change, and in that way to help you take your power back. I feel like that's, for me, is the biggest thing at the end of the day, is staying in your power, knowing your power, honoring your feelings, honoring your thoughts, your perspectives, what you bring to the table. And like, I almost feel like that's kind of what it's all about, at least for me in my journey, and what I want to help other people to see.
I was just thinking about a session I had where she thinks I'm like her guru or something, and she was saying something like, oh my God, and just like I don't know, excited for the information that came through in this healing session or whatever, and I get uncomfortable at those times.
Oh.
I don't know about you, but I'm like,
when people,
oh, hold on, but you're the open one. Hold on, but you're, like, I want to keep telling them, like, yes, but sometimes I don't honor myself and my own journey and my own work as I'm talking this through out loud right now, because I like shy away, like, oh no, that wasn't me, like, I'm just a conduit, whatever. But the truth is, we put in the work to learn and understand energy and our own energy and the energy that's around us that we're tuning into. I was just thinking about something I said to you last night about oh my God, I'm going all over the place, but and let me finish that story. But I still want to show them in those moments that really it's because they're there, they're open, and they're connecting the dots. But last night when I was telling you about, I think I was talking about misconceptions of mediumship or something, and I was, remember, I was swearing. What was I saying about
it was something
spirit?
Like it's not us, or it's like the spirit or something.
But anyway, I don't know, that just popped in my head because I was yelling at spirit, but
which happens often. No, but with this time of year, just kind of notice what belief systems you have. I feel like that's where it all starts, and then that's where I feel like that's the place to start. If you're feeling something that doesn't feel good or doesn't resonate with you anymore, tune into your belief systems and see what doesn't resonate, what you want to change, and if it has to do with energies. I hope you were able to hear our perspective.
But real quick, you should share, like, because of Halloween, since this is going to be before Halloween, because the veil is the thinnest. Remember, we were talking about that? Just that they could also use it as opportunity to start a practice of their own. sitting 5 minutes with themselves, or because the energy is so.
Yeah, with this time of year, the energies are stronger. For whatever reason, I'm not really into astrology, but they do say in spirituality, or just this line of work, that the veil is thinner, and like you said, you could see it in a fear-based way of, oh no, I have to protect myself more, there's more dark energies, scary Halloween, like I need to protect myself. Or you can see it, like you said, as an opportunity to start your own practice, your own meditation, your own ways of taking care of yourself, of honoring yourself, like what you can do to help you love yourself on a deeper level that's a little more ritual like meditation, or setting intention, or gratitude. Like when something is put in front of you, like this time of year, and I feel like this goes for any situation in life, but when something's put in front of you, you always have opportunity, you always have decisions, you always have a choice, even if it doesn't always feel like that, there is, and that's where you have to see, even if you were taught your whole life this time of year you have to protect yourself, or the dark energies, or whatever, like there's always a choice, there's always an opportunity. And that's why we were saying in the Facebook Live with Natural Healing Centers, it is the perfect opportunity for you to say, like, hey, what can I do to then, build this connection with myself, or with my spirit guides, or with my higher self more, that I can take with me, once the season's over. Because that way the connection is already established. You're already into the routine. It'll just be easier to start those kinds of things this time of year.
And using that collective energy, because there is so much energy.
Or like focused
on Halloween, on the dead, or, so using that, just like, I've heard on many talk shows, like, when you're anxious and you have to go on stage, or like turning that anxious energy into something else, like powerful. And so it's the same concept, like the energy's already here, it's Halloween time. The veil is what are you going to do with it? So you can go into this side of it or this side of it, and use the collective energy to propel your own, what you want and what you believe.
See your power and your choices and your opportunity, and see what you can do with what's in front of you. If anyone has any questions about this, we love to talk about it and share our perspective on it. I hope that, everyone was able to feel seen and heard too, because I feel like we definitely validated the opposing perspectives, and we can definitely understand it, because like we said, it is still it's very real for the people who have this belief system. And
not just very real, it's not wrong either.
Well, yeah,
it's just
that's
not what
I mean.
we choose to believe. Yes,
So if anyone wants to talk about it more, give any feedback, we'd love to talk about it more. But thanks for sitting down with us, and we'll see what happens next week.